discussion on this because it's what everyone's here for. This is quite simply one of the worst trades I've ever seen in NFL history. And I get it. There, of course, could go awry for DeAndre Hopkins. He took a bit of a step back last year. Guess what? He was still really friggin' good. So to trade away a, top 3, top 5 minimum?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say top 10, be super nice to Houston. Traded away a top 10 receiver for a washed David Johnson, a second-round pick, and a worse fourth-round pick. If I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm going, what the hell is my organization doing? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go somewhere where they're not trading away my best player.
Yeah.
Because that's what Houston just did.
Oh, they clearly just traded away. And, I mean, again, you're looking at, the top 2 quarterbacks that we could see get signed next, the big contracts, is Patrick Mahomes, who the Chiefs are doing everything that they possibly can to build around him. And then you got Deshaun Watson. And if I'm Deshaun Watson, you're telling me you gave me David Johnson, and now I got to hope that Will Fuller can stay healthy. I got to hope that Kiki Cutie can stay healthy. Yes, it's a very deep wide receiver draft class, but you don't replace DeAndre Hopkins, who is, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the NFL, who plays 16 games every single season.
I realize that DeAndre Hopkins was a second-round pick himself. You're not going to get DeAndre Hopkins in round 2 this year. As great as this receiver class is,
Hopkins
if you're anticipating one of the best receivers in the NFL, you're going to be so disappointed.
Hopkins the last 5 years, 504 catches. That's second most in the NFL. 6,590 receiving yards. That's second most in the NFL. 46 receiving touchdowns. Second most in the NFL. What are you getting? DeAndre Hopkins is an incredible wide receiver, and for the fact of this, it's laughable.
This is something crazy.
Bill O'Brien needs to, honestly, I think you said it before. This is a fireable offense.
I think we should ask the question in a little bit. Could you run the Texans better than Bill O'Brien? I think the answer is yes.
Well, I think Bill O'Brien's starting to look a lot like his chin, and I'm not allowed to swear here, but you guys can connect the dots. So we had a blockbuster deal go down. The Texans, the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins on his way.
This is such a trash trade for Houston. I don't know what they're doing. DeAndre Hopkins, I know he is aging and he wants a new contract potentially. He's still one of the best receivers in the NFL. So what you've done is taken DeAndre Hopkins, a top 3 receiver, top 5 receiver in the NFL, and you sent a 4th-round pick to get a future 4th-round pick, a 2nd-round pick that's number 40 overall, and an old, nowhere near as effective and banged-up David Johnson. Houston just got swindled.
Houston, we have a problem.
Nice. If you're playing Madden, you guys can go check. This trade does not work. It does not work. Bill O'Brien is running the Texans into the ground. They traded away Jadeveon Clowney for nothing, and they just did the exact same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. And they wildly overpaid for Laramie Tunsil. They don't have very many picks. They don't have a first round. You got a 2nd-round pick for Hopkins? Stupid. That's my one word. Stupid.
Wow. Because there's many times, if I would have said before the show started, Tom, DeAndre Hopkins is going to get traded today, that alone I've been like, wow, all right, we did talk about it on Rumors. But for not even a first-round pick, heck, when Harrison and I talked about what it would cost, we said probably 2 first-rounders.
How did they not get a first? My theory is that they value David Johnson as a good player and as an asset.
Yeah. Well, disgusting, fools, crack, trash, dumbness, ridiculous. I think it's all very, very clear. We got over, 1,500 people watching right now. Get your one-word reactions into DeAndre Hopkins being traded to the Arizona Cardinals and for the Texans not getting a first-round pick.
This is a great point getting brought up here by Gavin Snow. How did the Texans give a first for Kenny Stills, only 2nd for Hopkins? There was more involved in that Laramie Tunsil trade that focused on Kenny Stills. Here's the full details. I'll just read this off for you guys. The Houston Texans have acquired Laramie Tunsil, Kenny Stills, David Johnson, Jacob Martin, Barkevius Mingo for a 2nd, a 3rd, 2 fourths, and a 6th rounder. In exchange for Jadeveon Clowney, DeAndre Hopkins, Johnson Batamosi, who's no one has heard of, Julian Davenport, a 4th-round pick, and 2 first-round picks. The Texans have given up the 2 best players involved and the 2 best picks. What are we doing, Houston? This is gross negligence. Fire Bill O'Brien. This is why you can't let the head coach be the GM, because they tend to make really bad ideas. This
and then make him a
brutal.
reality. I mean, I just don't understand how you can honestly look yourself and look your team in the eyes.
And how does ownership sign off on this?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, not only does one person draw it up, I mean, we just showed this to over 1,500 people, and not one person was like, okay, I'll sign off
Houston
on that.
did good. No one thinks that.
Nobody thinks that. And now they're a laughing stock, and they should be.
This is a pretty brutally bad deal by Houston. And you know what? We haven't talked about the Arizona side of it, and that's on us. Arizona, great freaking job. You just took care of your wide receiver need for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You got rid of David Johnson. You freed up some money doing that. All you gave up was a first-round pick. Now you can get wild in round 1. You can, if you want to get really crazy, you could still add CeeDee Lamb. You could go CeeDee Lamb, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins. Ooh, that's wild.
Wow.
You could add some impact defensive
sounds like
help
a Big
that
12
you desperately need. You could add one of those great offensive linemen because you somehow kept your first-round pick. So Arizona, great job. That is what good or smart, maybe I'll say smart organizations should do. Houston, by the way, they ate all of David Johnson's contract, which
Again, it makes absolutely no
How?
sense. The Cardinals now, they're definitely trying to compete in that NFC West, which I've said multiple times, I do think is the best division in all of football. So here's the blockbuster trade that just went down that sent David Johnson to the Texans and DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals. It just sounds so weird saying it. So how about this, okay? Can you run the Texans better than Bill O'Brien? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I mean every single person right now watching type yes.
Can I be as
Spam
good?
yes.
Can I be as good of a coach as Bill O'Brien? No, I don't think that's realistic. Can I not trade away DeAndre Hopkins for the poo-poo platter? Yeah, I can make that work. Yeah. So yes, I firmly believe with every fiber of my being that I could absolutely run the Houston Texans better than Bill O'Brien.
I don't ever want to see a fiber of your
Houston,
being.
give me a call.
Ever.
I'm available at Going Downey. I will run your organization. And you know what? I'll find a way to rectify this situation. Although at this point, we're trending so far in the right direction, I'm going to have to blow the whole damn thing up at this point.
Wow.
I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
This is
maybe, just maybe, you had a DeAndre Hopkins jersey, and you're looking for a new one? Here you go, man. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Price drop alert. Yeah. Under $80. I feel bad for Deshaun Watson, who, I'll be honest, if I see this deal, like you said, I don't know if I'd want to stay there. You got Khalil Mack, who got traded last year in a mind-blowing deal. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Go get yourself a jersey if you had a Hopkins one. I'm sorry.
Look, the Texans are now down. We'll talk into that here, but it's just I don't want to get off track here. All these deals are under 80. Chat, I got a lot of thoughts that are very angry, so we will get to them. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. If you're a Texans fan, hey, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, this is a good deal. This is one you should like. The Hopkins deal, and we'll talk more about that in just a second here. But these are good deals. They're under 80, limited supply. Go check them out. That link is in the comments and the description. Chatsports.com/jersey deal.
So, again, we'll show you the blockbuster trade, but I don't know. Blockbuster is about as obsolete as this trade. Maybe we should call this Netflix trade.
This is one of those Netflix trades. Good point. Netflix.
Whatever happened to
Netflix,
Blockbuster?
Netflix, you're doing well. Why don't you send us some sponsorship money? This is the type of trade that, like, if vetoes were allowed in the NFL, like they were in fantasy, this one would be vetoed. And you know what? It's probably the right decision.
Oh yeah.
Because this is horrible for Houston. Like Deshaun Watson has a bad offensive line. Just so we're clear. Now it's getting better. It's still not good. Now you have taken away your single best receiver who had more receptions than any two receivers combined on Houston's roster. Let me do the math here real fast, too, because it might be more than 3 of them. This is a horrible deal. It is the top 3 Texans receivers, so not tight end, not Duke Johnson, had 111 catches last year. DeAndre Hopkins had 104. Your receiving core now consists of Will Fuller, Kiki Cutie, Kenny Stills, and frankly, go throw Duke Johnson at the slot.
So basically,
that's not good, guys.
The answer to this question is why for yes. Should this trade be vetoed? Why for yes, and for no. I see Shelley, I see Carson Winfield. Bosco Gamer is a Cardinals fan. He's typing N for no. He's absolutely loving it. I don't blame him. I mean, any Cardinals fan right now, I think if you showed him that trade, You'd be like, no way did that happen.
Literally.
Get out of here.
So we do all types of Q&As here. Make sure you're subscribed because you can get in on them. If you were to throw that out as a trade offer to me on the show, I'd been
You
like,
would've cursed them
guys, come on. We have to be realistic here. That's not a good trade for Houston. Why would they do that? Bill O'Brien said bet and did it. And I just want to emphasize
Kenny
this point
Stills
more and more.
just tweeted out 7 minutes ago a GIF of Russell Westbrook going like,
Who?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, you didn't say Westbrook.
I almost said Russell Wilson, so.
This is a horrific trade for Houston. Texans fans, I am sorry. If you guys know Texans fans, if you are friends with them, do me a favor and please, please, please check in on them. Just make sure they're okay. Let me see. My buddy texted me back that I texted.
Thank
sorry.
Goodness. Get out your phone. See who has a Texans fan in here. Maybe we can bring him on.
He didn't
Tell
really
him to join the show.
respond to me. I feel like he's in the denial phase.
Oh, so you said this. I like this comment coming up from Jordan.
I got to do the math here. So
this is interesting. So
Houston
Amari
was so
Cooper to the
tight.
Texans.
Houston was so tight on cap space entering today. They could make it work. It's still a horrible move for Houston. I guess it makes some sense. So you're taking on David Johnson at 11. DeAndre Hopkins, that's kind of a net gain. You could make it work if you're Houston, but you're going to have to get involved in a bidding war. And then you have to also, remember, you got to re-sign Laramie Tunsil, who has all the leverage in the world over you, and Deshaun Watson. So, we have it. Alicia, I'm going to drag somebody. I just lost it. Can you scroll up on the YouTube chat for me on the master computer? A little bit higher. Rick Grimes, let's go to it. Find it. Rick Grimes, we have our first supporter of the Houston Texans here.
Rick is a loyal watcher of the Raiders
So
Report
I will be nice.
and always DMs me.
I will be nice. Mitch, you can read it.
This trade is 100% fine. Johnson is a top 5 running back. D-Hop is a top 5 wide receiver, and I'm not sure how this was not a win for the Texans.
Because DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5 receiver. David Johnson is not a top 5 back. Kenyon Drake was
clearly better.
Double the back he was last year?
Clearly better.
David Johnson, now, could he get healthy again? Yes, absolutely. He was not good. And you have to think about it this way. You traded a top 5 pick. I don't think David Johnson is a positive asset, frankly. Maybe it's a net neutral asset, or whatever it is. It's balanced out by the fact that the Texans got the worst of the 2 fourth-round picks back. You just traded DeAndre Hopkins for a second-round pick. That is the way to approach this deal. Because David Johnson, look at his stats.
Yeah.
That's bad, guys. And he looked slow. He looked washed up last year. He was not good. Could he bounce back? Yes, absolutely.
And could he? But see, here's the other thing.
This is the third running back Houston's traded for.
But even if he puts up numbers, I don't want people to think, oh, just because David Johnson, because if he comes out and runs for 1,000 yards, that actually wouldn't surprise me all that much because Carlos Hyde ran for over 1,000 yards last year. Lamar Miller was close before he got, banged up in 2018. But even if that happens, David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, it's not close. And then the fact that you're going to pay Johnson
now you got a giant
$11 million or whatever this year. It's mind-blowing to me. And you still got to pay Watson. And if I'm Deshaun Watson now, there is no way I'm coming back to the Houston Texans. No way.
I want out, frankly. Now, here's my point here when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins. I see this comment being brought up. Well, what's the value of Hopkins if he wants an extension? I don't care. My mindset is this, guys. You pay DeAndre Hopkins the top 3 receiver. You pay DeAndre Hopkins, you pay Deshaun Watson, and you pay Laramie Tunsil. Those are the moves you do. I do not understand this for the Houston Texans. And if I'm the rest of the NFL, baby, I'm on the phone. I'm making calls. I'm saying, hey, what do you guys want for insert player here? That is the route you need to go because Houston right now, they are apparently ready and able to be swindled. So I'm calling them, and I'm trying to get bad deals on their part.
So this is the time of the year that you guys need to be subscribed to Chat Sports, that you need to have your notifications turned on, because when blockbuster deals, Netflix deals go down, like David Johnson to the Texans and DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals, you need to be subscribed to Chat Sports. It's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We'll put it in the comments. We'll put it in the description again. Make sure you got those notifications, and make sure you subscribe to Chat Sports.
Again, here are the